Hi everyone! Welcome back to MomNMeBeauty. Today I'm going to be decluttering my single eyeshadows and some of my smaller eyeshadow quads and triples. So if you like this type of video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up so I know and we can do more declutters. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell that's right next to it so you're notified every time we upload a new video. We do post 2 beauty videos a week. On Mondays is Mom and Me Day, and on Thursdays, today, is either Teen Take with my daughter Emma or Mom Moment with me. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I have laid out all of my single eyeshadows and some of my smaller eyeshadow like quads and trios. So let's just get into this and start decluttering. So what I do is I look and see everything that I've got, and I want to first set aside the stuff that I know that I reach for on a daily basis, or at least frequently during the week. So the first thing that stands out to me is these individual eyeshadows. These are the Revlon Color Stay eyeshadows. And I've got 6 of them. This one is number 745. They don't have names associated with the colors. All they have are numbers. So this is like a nice pastel-y pink. It does have some shimmer in it, as you can see here. These are so incredibly creamy, and they really, once they lock down, they do not budge at all. You can go over them with powders if you want before they set, but like I said, once they set, that's it. They don't budge anywhere. So I have that color. I love that pink. That's definitely my wheelhouse. Then I also have number 705. This is a nice like champagne kind of frosty color. It also has some shimmer in it. You can see it right there. It's very, very pretty. I love it. The consistency of all of these is the same. Really, there's no difference between any of them. And in each one of them, there's this included brush here if you want to use it to apply it. But honestly, I use a Wet n Wild brush to apply these. And then I take my hair dryer and lock them down if I don't want to top them with a powder. This is number 760. This is a little bit more glittery than the first 2. I haven't used this quite as much, but I do like to put it in the inner corner. It actually has somewhat of a blue shift to it. It's really strange, but so pretty. You can see it right there. Like I said, this has got a lot more glitter and shimmer in it than the first 2. The next color is number 730. This is a little bit deeper in color than the champagne color number 705. This is a little bit darker. It's a little bit more bronzy, and you can see it right there next to the blue. Next color I have is number 750. Oh, I love this. Okay, I wanted to wipe off my fingers there so it didn't lock in on my fingers. Okay, so you can see it right there. This is like a snow white color. I use this on my inner corner so frequently. It's a little bit chunkier, I find. Blends out really, really nicely, flattens out. You can really get rid of those chunks and, you know, get some really nice pigment there, but it really does brighten up the inner corner so well. And last color I have is number 740. This is like a pewter purple. That's the best way I can describe it to you. In the pot, it looks a lot more silver than it is purple, but on the eye, it pulls more purple than it does silver. Really, really pretty. Again, the consistency of all of these is the same, and once they dry down, they lock in and they don't budge until you take them off at the end of the day with a makeup remover. Okay, next single eyeshadow that I know that I reach for very, very frequently are actually these right here. These are the new e.l.f. Aqua Molten Liquid eyeshadows. So I have 3 colors. I believe they have like 4 or 5 in this line. These are relatively new. I know they sell 3 colors in the stores, or at least in our stores locally. 2 of these are the ones that they sell in the stores locally. This one I had to get online, and I still have not seen it in stores. So in any case, I have brushed copper, which is this one right here. This I wouldn't say there's really copper in it. It really is like a little bit more of an intense champagne color than the Revlon cream eyeshadow. You can see it there. It's got a little bit more beige to it. The Revlon one, a little bit lighter. These two are exactly like the Revlon in terms of staying power. Once they lock down, they do not budge, and you can top them with powders if you'd like before they lock down. This one is rose gold. Love this one as well. You know, when you put it on the lid, it really does remind me of a rose gold color. And the last color I haven't used it as often. This is Cool Steel. You know, it's a little dark for me, and I don't like to wear dark eyeshadows on my lid unless it's like fall or I'm going out. So I haven't got as much use out of it, and to be honest with you, this one's slightly more streaky than the other two. The other two are very, very pigmented and really only require one coat. This one, I don't know, it's a little bit more patchy and streaky. So I would like to keep it to see if I could make it work and play around with it, maybe put it in the outer corner. But yeah, I love this color too, so I'm definitely keeping it. So then looking at what I have left, I'm gonna have to pick and choose what I wanna keep and what I would like to pass on. So this is one of the e.l.f. eyeshadow pots. Now, I bought this for Emma and then I got one for myself. Emma decided she didn't like it, so I have two of these pots, but I actually do like using this. Now, you look into the container and it looks really, really chunky. Can you see that? It looks almost like gritty, but I promise you, this is exactly like the Revlon and exactly like these molten liquid eyeshadows. Once you put it on your eyelid and you blend it out and then you let it dry down, it locks down and it doesn't go anywhere. So this is like a nice light pink. I use this as sometimes as a primer, like if I want to put powder over the top of it, but I also have used this in my inner corner as well to brighten that up, and you know, it works both ways. Texture of it is a little bit different, so it's not like the Revlon cream eyeshadows where it feels like a true cream. This almost feels like a cross between a mousse and a cream. So I really like it. I really like to use it. I probably will get through both pots, to be perfectly honest with you, but yeah, I'd like to keep this one as well. Okay, moving on. Let's go to this other e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow. This is their Blushing Rose. I'm pretty sure that this one is new as well, and I believe they also have one in tan. Now, I'm going to pass this one on, and I'm going to show you why. This is extremely streaky and patchy, like extremely streaky and patchy. So I've tried to build it up with a couple of layers, but when you go to blend it out, it kind of blends out into absolutely nothing. You see that? Like, you can still see a little bit of pigment, but really it blends out into absolutely nothing, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to get any use out of it. So yeah, passing this one along. You know what? Let's just do this last cream eyeshadow. This is the Maybelline Master Prime. Now, this is labeled as a long-lasting eyeshadow base, but it also works as an eyeshadow, and I have used this a couple of times as an eyeshadow. It's a little bit more sheer, so if you want to use it as an eyeshadow, you do have to kind of, you know, put more than one layer on. But this also will dry down, lock down. You can put powders over it. I really, really love the color of this. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like a metallic suede, so definitely I'm going to keep that. And now we're going into powders, and I also have a couple of stick eyeshadows here as well. I want to hit up the biggest area of this. Now, there's a backstory to it. So before I started expanding my makeup collection, I was a huge couponer, and so I'm still a huge couponer. Let's just be real. I used to get coupons in bulk, and I'm sure you've seen the $4 off one Almay product in your local paper from time to time. Well, I used to get these coupons in bulk, so I would get like 10 $4 off one Almay product. So all of these Almay eyeshadows I got for free. And then I started to learn a little bit more about makeup and how to properly apply it, and realized that a lot of these aren't going to work for me anymore, and just stopped using them altogether as I expanded my collection and got products that work better for me. So right here, these are all the same color. All 5 of these are Creme Brulee. Now I have 3 here that are not open, so those are definitely going to get passed along. And then these 2 are open. So I just wanted to swatch this for you. Now, the consistency of these is so silky. Like, that's the most appropriate word I can describe it for you. They feel like silk. But as you can see, like, that's 2 swipes right there of that color. It just doesn't show up. The pigmentation is not fantastic. And, you know, you could use it as an eyeshadow topper, but I don't know, I feel like there's so many other eyeshadows in this color that work better for me and from my palettes that I'm gonna pass all 5 of these along. And so the other colors I have, I've got 2 of this color, so I will definitely be passing 1 along. This is Petal. Again, the consistency feels like silk. It feels so, so wonderful, but same kind of problem. The pigmentation is hardly there. They don't last very long either. So I put it on the morning or even in the evening, like if I was going out on a date with my husband, by the end of the night, the pigmentation is gone and I can't see a darn thing, even if I got it to show up in the first place. So yeah, passing that pink along as well. Then I've got Lilac. All of these, same kind of problem. They feel wonderful. Pigmentation, terrible. See? I mean, you can see some there, but it shows up better in camera than it does in real life. Like, there really isn't, it's really difficult to see that purple color. So yeah, I'm not going to go through every single one for you, but every single one of these that I've opened and that I've tried have the same problem. And then I also have some that I haven't even opened because I don't want to even bother. So passing all of those along, hopefully somebody can make them work and they'll get some use out of it. Okay, this other Almay product, this is one of their eyeshadow trios, and the way that they package this is that you're supposed to put this on the lid, this in the crease, and then on the brow bone, underneath the brow bone. So, I mean, it's convenient that, you know, you don't even need instructions. It's kind of foolproof, but the problem with this is the color or the gradation just wouldn't work for my eyes. It would make my eyes look smaller, you know, if I put a darker color on the lid and then that in the crease. And this purple color right here has shimmer in it, so if I put that in the crease, like, I have to be very careful about the other colors that I use around it. Otherwise, like I said, it makes my eyes look really, really droopy. So like that brown color, that's a really pretty intense color. The purple and the white, just, they don't thrill me. They do have great shimmer in it, and you know me, I'm all for shimmer, but I don't know. I just don't think that it's worth it, and I've got eyeshadows that perform better in my palette, so I will be passing that along. Okay, so moving on, let's go into this e.l.f. eyeshadow quad. Now this I got as a free gift with purchase with my first purchase from e.l.f. They do actually sell these, I'm sorry, it's not a quad, it's a quintet. They sell these quintets in the store. I've seen them in Target. This is the Saturday Sunsets. Now, I don't know, these are pretty colors, definitely in my wheelhouse. They swatch pretty good. I mean, look at that pigmentation. That's, you know, really pretty, especially that pink color. And, you know, if it's a little bit orange for me, but I know some people can really make those orange browns work. Doesn't work for me. In any case, they swatch great. The problem with this is no matter what primer I use, no matter how I apply either with my finger or with a brush, wet, dry, they kind of all melt together into one giant color, one giant blob of color on the eyelid. So yeah, I'm not going to get use out of these colors, out of this quintet, so I will be passing that along as well. All right, next up is this Avon Trio. I used to be an Avon representative, haven't been so for a couple of years now, and you know, I miss it, but in any case, you know, again, these pinks, I just can't get away. They swatch so pretty. I mean, that is just a stunning color. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like a shimmery, dusty rose. And then there's the shimmery white, kind of off-white color. This one's really powdery and really chunky. Sorry about that. So it's right here. It's really, really chunky and powdery. And, you know, a lot of powder kicks back. So not liking that color. And then there's this really deep, like chestnut brown, almost black color. I mean, on my arm, it looks black, but it really is like a deep, deep dark brown. So in this trio, the only color I feel like I would use is this dusty shimmery rose color, and I have similar colors like this in my palettes. I'm not gonna miss this, so I'm gonna pass it along and see if somebody else can get some use out of it. Okay, next up I think I'm going to attack this small one. So I don't think it was last year, I think maybe it was the year before. Revlon came out with these eyeshadow singles, and they have grooves in the side. I don't know if you can quite see that. Yeah, you see that groove right there? And then on the other side, there's kind of like a lip. I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, you see the lip right there. The idea of these was that you could buy singles that you really were drawn to, that you were attracted to, and they kind of slid together. You kind of locked them together so you could create your own, you know, long palette, and it was kind of like the predecessor to the Z palette. So I bought 2 of these singles, and I think I used them a grand total of 1 time, and they've been sitting in my collection ever since. This color is, and there is no color, so I have no idea. There's no color number. There's no color name left. Sorry about that. All that powder kind of fell out. I mean, they're really dry and powdery. It's a pretty color. It's like almost a gray brown. Would look really, really good in the crease, but again, I've got so many of these in my other palettes that I think I'm gonna pass on this one. All right, next one that I'm going to talk about is this one, and this is from Pacifica. This is Wild Rose, and I got this in one of our subscription services that we get once a month. I will link that video up here for you in the cards if you're interested, if you'd like to check that out. If I remember correctly, the intention of this was to be a blush, but this is way too dark and way too deep for my skin tone to be a blush. So, you know, I was like, oh, I'll use it as an eyeshadow. And it's been sitting in there ever since. I mean, it's so, so pretty. When you put it on the eyelid, it does blend out, but because it's intended to be a blush, it shears out too much for me. And I really haven't, you know, reached for it. I haven't been getting any use out of it. So I think I'll be passing that along. All right, next up is also a sample that I got in one of our subscription services several months ago. This is one of the NYX, there's a special name for this line of single eyeshadows. They're all metallic and they're all pretty intense in color. I have used this a couple of times. I love the formula. It feels so creamy and so smooth, and oh, it just fell out. Oh my goodness. Completely fell out of the pan. So let me close that up. So you can see that color right there. I mean, come on, look at that pigmentation. You cannot get any more pigmented than that. That is stunning. But you know, it's too dark for me and I don't really use it. I don't know. I'm really upset because I love metallics. I love intense pigmentation, but this shade is just something that I don't reach for. I think it's just because it's a little bit, it pulls a little bit too much orange for me, and I'm very much a pink undertone type of girl, so I can't really pull off corals or oranges unless I blend them with pinks, and I can't make it work. So yeah, I'll be passing that along. Okay, next one that stands out to me is this Hikari Cream Pigment. This also was a sample that I got, a sample that I got in one of our subscription services very recently. In fact, I think it was last month. So this, I think what I'm going to do is create my own Z palette. I'm going to do a DIY Z palette, and I'm going to take this out of the plastic, the flimsy plastic that it came in, and put it into that Z palette. I absolutely love this color. I have used it a couple of times on my lid. It is such a pretty frosty pink color. Isn't that stunning? And it really does feel so creamy, so buttery, not drying at all, doesn't kick up any powder. Yeah, definitely keeping this color. Next one that stands out to me is this Rimmel London. Now this was one that I got recently, like within the last month, also free using a coupon. And this is in the color Poser, number 6. So I swatched it when I got home. I've tried using it once. It's so powdery, like really powdery, and I don't find myself reaching for it. I mean, it's a matte shade, there's no shimmer to it, but I don't feel like I'm gonna get use out of it, and I'm not gonna let it collect dust in my collection. So I am gonna pass that along. Next one that stands out to me is this. This is a pink, it says pink eyeshadow. This is by Ulta, one of their eyeshadow singles. Now this is so pretty, and before I got those Revlon cream eyeshadows, I was using this all the time, like just about every single day. But ever since I got those cream eyeshadows from Revlon, I honestly haven't used this. It's still a stunning pink color. It's a little bit more glittery than the Revlon ones. It definitely has some glitter in it. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera. Still a pale pink, but it's got a little bit like a deeper silver undertone to it. I guess maybe that's the glitter that's showing through. You know what? I was going to pass this along, but I love it so much. I really like it, especially when I apply it wet. It shows up really, really well in the eye, so I think I am going to keep this one. Next ones that I want to decide if I want to keep or not are these Maybelline Color Tattoos. Now, these are the pure pigment powders. And I got these on clearance, I think at Walgreens several months ago, if not like a year ago. And so when you open them up, they have a sifter on top, and there's definitely some powder. I don't think I'm going to keep these because the colors are so dark that I never ever use them. I mean, they're pretty, but when I use a dark color, it's just on the outer corner of my eye, and I don't think that I'm going to get use out of it because I can always pull a dark color from one of my palettes. So that one is Downtown Brown. I'm going to pass that one along. Next one is Buff and Tough. This one is like a suede color or cashmere color. And so with pressed pigments, you can apply them wet or dry. So on me, I mean, it's very close to my skin color. I don't use it, I don't reach for it. I don't wear a whole lot of browns, so I think I'm gonna pass this one along as well. Okay, while we're talking about loose pigment powders, we're gonna talk about these Wet n Wild loose pigments. These came out several months ago, if memory serves me right. They come in a vial, very reminiscent of the MAC loose pigment powders. So I have two colors. I have Heart of Rose Gold and Kung Fu Lightning. I have to be honest, I've only used these once since I got them, and I've had them in my collection for you know, a couple months, but I've had so many eyeshadow palettes that I've gotten and all these eyeshadow singles that I really haven't given it its true, like haven't really put it through the paces in terms of how I would use them and if I want to keep them. So this is the Rose Gold, so sheer, like you can hardly see any pigment at all, but you can definitely see the pearlescent or the shimmer in it. So you know what, I'm going to keep both of these just so that I can put them through their paces and see if it's really something that I would use. But at least now that I'm cleaning out my eyeshadow singles, I won't have it shoved into the back, and I really can try it out. So this is the, ooh, that's really pretty. This is the Kung Fu Lightning. Definitely has a lot more pigment than the Rose Gold one, but not nearly as much shimmer. So yeah, it's a little bit of a trade-off. Anyways, I'm going to keep both of them and see if I can make them work. All right, next are these LA Color Baby Pop eyeshadows. I got both of these at Dollar General. At the time, I was just starting to, you know, build up my makeup collection and what I had. This one, the formulation of these is really different too. This one is Nude Shimmer. This one almost feels gritty to the touch. I mean, it's got decent pigment and definitely has some shimmer to it, but I have this color probably 5 or 6 times over in my other eyeshadow palette, so passing that one along. Now, when I first looked at this one right here, this is in the color Blue Mermaid. I really did not want to keep it because I don't ever wear blue eyeshadows. Well, then this morning I created my eyeshadow look, and this was the exact color that I needed. Could not find it in any of my eyeshadow palettes, and I wish that these were, you know, or this one at least, was right in my view that I could see it and use it, because this would have been the perfect color, the exact color that I was looking for. So it's got a much better texture than the other one. You can see it right here. It's like a steel blue color. It's really pretty. It does have shimmer in it. The texture of this is a lot different than the cream one that I swatched before. It's not nearly as gritty. It's much creamier. Definitely kicks up some powder, but I mean, these eyeshadow singles were $1. I really love the color. I wish I had seen it this morning to create my eyeshadow look, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one. And we're down to the last 3. Okay, first one is this NYX Jumbo Pencil. Now, everyone knows that the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk is great for priming eyes, and I do have that one. It's upstairs. I forgot to grab it. It's with the rest of my makeup, but I use it as a primer, not really necessarily as an eyeshadow. This one is in Cottage Cheese, number 608. Now, I bought this on accident thinking it was Milk, and so I tried it the first couple of times as a, you know, primer, and it's, I don't know, it was patchy. I mean, right there it swatches really nicely, but when I put it on my eyes as a primer, it was like really, really patchy and blotchy. This also has shimmer in it. It's like Milk, but with shimmer in it. Really pretty, but I was like, what the heck is this? So I figured it out. I purchased the wrong color and I put it in my drawer. I haven't used it since. But I think it was because I was using it incorrectly and I hadn't gotten the top layer off. I think that's why it was like going on my eyelid pretty blotchy. So, I mean, I like it. I like the shimmer in it. It would work really, really well as an inner corner highlight. So I am going to keep this one. Next up is the Rimmel London Scandal Eyes. This is supposed to be a waterproof eyeshadow stick in number 1 Witness White. Now this is very, very similar to the NYX one that I just swatched, but you can see right there it is chunky, really, really chunky. And I have used this quite a bit. This I got also in the very beginning of my makeup shopping and makeup collection accumulation. So I have used this quite a bit. I used it a lot as an inner corner highlight and also on the lid, but I don't know, it just seems way too chunky for me, and when you try to blend it out, it becomes patchy and streaky. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pass that one along. And last up is one of the Maybelline Color Tattoos. So we decluttered the Color Tattoo loose pigment powders. This is the Color Tattoo in the stick form. This is number 705, Pink Parfait. So this one is a beautifully, stunningly beautiful pink color. Again, in my wheelhouse. Like, how many pinks have I decluttered in this video? In any case, very shimmery, goes on very smooth, very creamy. The one thing with this though that I really don't like is that it does not dry down. You have to set it with powder. You have to put a powder over it. You cannot just let it stand on its own. So I think I'm going to pass it along because I don't like that. I want the option, you know, if I'm going to have like a cream eyeshadow stick or even my Revlon cream eyeshadows, if I'm going to have that option of having a cream eyeshadow, I want the option of having it stand alone. I don't want to have to like set it with a powder. So I think I am going to pass this one along too. Okay, so everything on this side is what I've decluttered and what I'm going to pass along. Emma has already made her decision. She is shopping what I'm passing along. So she will end up with some new makeup here very shortly. So I will be passing along all the makeup that she doesn't want onto a local women's shelter. Check that out when you do your declutters. See if your local women's shelter is in need of makeup. It really is a good cause and really a good place for your makeup and your cosmetics to go. And this is the stuff that I will be keeping. So I'm really proud of myself. I really decluttered a lot of my single eyeshadows and smaller eyeshadow trios and quads. And I really narrowed it down. So hopefully I will get a lot more use out of what I'm keeping. Man, that was a lot of eyeshadows to get through. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. I like doing these type of videos because when I watch them on YouTube, it really helps me to determine what is a worthwhile product for someone and what's something that they would pass on, so that when I go shopping for my makeup, I make more informed and better choices. Make sure that you connect with us on Instagram under MomNMeBeauty and with Emma under Emma_N2004. In the comment section below, let me know what kind of things you've been decluttering lately, or if you've ever decluttered your makeup. I have quite an extensive makeup collection myself, and I'm kind of running out of space. I know, it's one of those dreaded things every makeup lover says, but I am running out of space, so I am going to have to start doing some declutters. If you would like to see more declutters, make sure that you give me a big thumbs up so I know all about it. If you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button down below and that little bell that's right next to it so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. We very, very much appreciate it, and we'll see you in our next Mom and Me video. Bye, everyone.